It's Monday, January 23rd, the day after I recorded the whole non-fitness questions portion of the Q&A that I posted on Instagram. So today I thought I would answer all of the fitness, nutrition, eating disorder recovery, just some more informational section. I actually just finished taking my Afro-Latin religions final and I have a couple days off now before I start my last semester ever of college. I'm so excited, but you guys asked if I wore jeans yesterday and I told you I would wear them, so you ask and you shall receive. Literally the only reason I'm wearing jeans is because I got like an embarrassing amount of questions asking if I owned any. So I thought I would just answer these as I go through my day today because it's just more entertaining that way and I don't feel like filming another sit down Q&A. So I'm just gonna, kind of like I did yesterday, start from the top and we'll see how far I get. But with that, let's start with question number 1. So the first question that I got was from Kathleen Rebus XO. And she said, how did you learn the calories and macros your body needs, especially after recovering from an eating disorder? Struggling with this. And I think that that's something a lot of people struggle with. For me, I didn't track macros right when I come out of an eating disorder. And anyone who asks me, I tell them that they shouldn't. I think when you are recovering, you should focus on eating what your body needs and just eating a lot of food and enjoying it and fixing your relationship with food. But when I did start tracking macros, I did not have a coach. I used one of the online nutrition calculators, which someone asked me what my favorite one is, and my 2 favorites that I think are the most accurate are the one on bodybuilding.com, and then there's just an if it fits your macros calculator if you just type it in Google. And that's what I did. You just like enter your height, weight, activity level, all that information, and it will give you macros. And that's what I did, and I followed them for a couple weeks. If you guys know, I have kind of a fast metabolism, so obviously I was not maintaining weight, and I was at a point mentally where I knew that I needed more food. So then I just kind of kept adjusting on my own from there. So that's what I would recommend doing. Any nutrition calculator, or even if you have a coach, your original macros are just gonna be a guess, so it's all trial and error, and you just have to kind of play it by ear and make adjustments yourself until you find a place where your body's happy, depending on your goals, whether that's to gain weight, lose weight, or maintain weight. So I am about to head to the grocery store because I haven't gone in the last few days because I've been studying, and I'm about to make lunch, and I was like, I don't have half the stuff I need to like live right now. But someone asked what food scale I use, and I'm about to measure out my rice for lunch, and I don't know. It says Fraser. This is what it looks like. I just bought it on Amazon. Honestly, I think you can get like pretty decent food scales that aren't that expensive on Amazon or even at Target. I am now at the grocery store and I thought I would answer a couple more questions. These are both more eating disorder related and they're very related to one another. So Miss Mighty Mouse asked, how has your image of yourself and your confidence changed from your ED times to now? And what are your top coping strategies when you have bad body image days? And then Heather Pitcher asked, do you still have eating disorder thoughts? And if so, how do you cope with them? So they're very similar questions. And honestly, I think a lot of people say you never fully recover from your eating disorder. And I believe that until a few months ago, and I was like, I really don't feel like my eating disorder is a part of me. Like, yes, the memories in my past is, and I'll always be able to like relate and empathize with people who have eating disorder thoughts or are struggling with an eating disorder. But in terms of like bad body image days or having eating disorder thoughts, I think I wake up some days and yes, I feel bloated or puffy, but I wouldn't even call it bad body image days. It's just that, where like I feel bloated, and I definitely don't relate my self-worth to my body image. Just remind yourself of, if you're struggling with an eating disorder, why you're recovering. So for me, those reasons were because I wanted to have a life, and with my eating disorder, I didn't have one. I felt very isolated and I was not happy. And in terms of confidence, I think I'm like a million times more confident than I was in my eating disorder. And I weigh the most I've ever weighed in my life. Like, they have no correlation. Okay, so while I'm at the grocery store, I thought I'd answer a couple food-related questions. These two are kind of related. So ZoHealthy_00 said, what, if any, micros do you track? Do you worry about not getting enough vitamins, minerals, etc.? Since you use if it fits your macros. And then Molly McClary asked, how many fruits and vegetables do you get in per day while bulking, hitting micros while not overdoing fiber? So I would say try to get in a variety of fruits and vegetables and stuff. Now, in terms of how many, I definitely eat less vegetables now, so that I don't go over my fiber while I'm bulking. But I would say I eat probably like 3-ish servings of vegetables and a couple servings of fruit a day. I try to get in at least 5 servings of fruits and vegetables, but you can also choose vegetables that are less fibrous. I'm also thinking, because I'm at the grocery store, about that whole full day of eating of stuff I don't usually eat. I'm kind of having like a brain fart. I have some ideas, but comment below and let me know if you have any other ones. Okay, so I'm home from the grocery store and I just made lunch, my big bowl of stuff. Oh, I dropped a macadamia nut. But I thought I'd answer another question. So Fears to Fit, my girl Kendall, she has a YouTube channel, so you guys should go subscribe to her if you haven't already. She asked, do you prefer your bulking diet where you get to eat more, or do you find it easier to eat at a diet for maintenance? And eating at diet for maintenance is definitely easier, and I think if you're bulking, you're gonna be full a lot. If you're cutting, you're gonna be hungry a lot. And at maintenance, it's like where your body's meant to be, what your body's like meant to eat naturally. So obviously it's gonna be easier. I think bulking has gotten easier as I've gotten further into it, and like my body's kind of gotten used to being on super high calories. So Amy Stackhouse 10 says, you mentioned in a few of your videos you were having digestive issues. Have you found anything that helps? And do you have tips to combat that problem? I feel ever since I've started eating clean and higher protein that my digestive system sucks. So, 2 parts. First part, I have a whole video about tips for bulking. My digestion is a lot better. I haven't been having any problems in the past couple months, even though my macros are crazy. So go watch that. I'll link it in the description box if you need tips to help with digestion and bulking. But one thing I will say with the second part of that is that if you're eating too high protein, it can be really taxing on your digestive system, just because protein is really, really hard for your body to process. So you want to make sure that you're not eating too much protein, and you want most of your macros, as you increase them, to increase in carbs and fats, not protein. Your protein should stay pretty constant. The standard is 1 to 1.2 grams of protein per pound of body weight. So that's my 2 cents on that. Okay, so I just want to take out my trash. I've been cleaning. I don't know why I'm cleaning every time I vlog. Probably because my apartment's always a mess. But I am wearing literally this like fuzzy, comfy parka thing and like no clothes, basically. And I just saw 2 guys from my grade in the hallway, like wasn't even thinking that I was wearing this. I was like, I'm not gonna see anyone on my way to the trash can. And they're probably like, what? I thought she was normal. We all know, I'm not normal, but still, super awkward. Anyways, I thought, well, I have my camera, I might as well answer a couple more questions. Laura Loves Waffles asked, what's your favorite workout to do that's not lifting weights? So I said this before, I really like hiking and doing outdoor stuff. I haven't done it in a while, obviously, because I'm not doing cardio, but I do like taking like jogs or runs outside. Not like anything hard, I just think it's a good way to clear your head, and I used to be a runner, so I don't know. Those are my 2 favorites. Let's find one more. Okay, 7Brickhouse7 asked a bunch. She said, how much do you pay for a gym membership, and do you only go to that gym? So my gym membership's pretty cheap. It's only like $25 a month, and I get unlimited guests, so it's like a pretty good deal. And I do pretty much only go to that gym unless I'm going to like lift with a friend or something, and then in that case I just pay for a day pass. Do you ever take group fitness classes like SoulCycle? I used to before I got into like bodybuilding stuff, but now just because I'm like training to compete and to build muscle and all that kind of stuff, I just stick to my own programming, which leads to the next question. How often does your programming change? So my coach, Nick, does my programming for me. So I pay for him to do that, and he changes it every 6 weeks. Sometimes sooner if like we need to make some tweaks or whatever. But for the norm, every 6 weeks. And how often do my macros change? Just as we see fit. So right now I'm bulking, so if I go through a full week and I'm not gaining weight or making the progress that we want to see, then we change my macros. Okay, so I started overheating, so I take that sweater off, but don't get too excited. I'm still in leggings and clothes. But right now, I am packing this box to send to my girl Amy with a few of my favorite things. And she's sending me stuff from Australia that are like her favorites that I can't get here, and we're gonna do a little like collab taste test thing soon. So go subscribe to her channel, I'll link it in the description box, and stay tuned for that. Okay, next let's answer a couple questions because I have a lot more than I thought I did and we need to get through these. Courtney Steeble asked, how does your family view you tracking your food or measuring your food? Do they think that it's weird? I've covered this in a couple videos, but I don't see my family that much since they're in Chicago and I'm in California. So when I'm with them, I don't track my food because I do think it like causes a barrier. If you're with people who aren't tracking their food, like it is kind of weird, and it's just like family dinners and stuff, I believe should be an experience that you're like enjoying with your family, not going and eating something different so you can track it. But I think if you have goals and you need to be tracking your food, or you like live with your family and it's something that you need to do to achieve your goals, then your family might think it's weird, but if you explain it to them, they should support you even if they don't totally understand. Then Annalise Lifts asked, how do you reply to people when they ask you to go out to a meal but you weren't expecting it with your macros? Honestly, I just go. Sorry for that sound, it's my dishwasher. But if my friends ask me at like 5 at night to go to dinner and I've already eaten most of my meals, I just go and I either guesstimate or just don't track it. Like I just kind of get what I feel like eating and enjoy my time with friends and just get back on track the next day. But I need to go get a new box because all this stuff's not gonna fit, so I'll catch up with you guys later. Update, the pineapple bun returned and the FedEx store was closed, so I stopped and picked myself up a Rockstar. Natural reaction, right? I'm gonna answer a couple more questions though. And Tiger_girl said, so 2 questions. The first is, you're always trying to gain mass and muscle, so you're in a surplus of calories. What advice would you give to those that easily put on mass, but it's harder to take it off? And I would say, so I've been in this bulk at really high calories for quite some time. It's been like 8 months now. And I would just say, kind of like the opposite would apply if you have a hard time taking it off. So I spend a lot of time in a big surplus. You would just need to give yourself more time to cut. I don't think like being super drastic and going to super low calories is the answer. I think just allowing yourself more time to cut and taking a bulk or your reverse diet more slowly. So like while my coach will add like 500 calories, 600 calories at a time, I would take it a little slower. So like a couple 100 calories. And then she said, what's your pancake recipe with the protein in it and any other fun go-to snacks? So my pancake recipe, I have it in a few other videos. I'll link one below, but it is literally just whatever amount of pancake mix you want to use, an egg, and protein powder. And that's all that's in it. And then fun go-to snacks, you guys know my rice cakes with peanut butter and banana. I like my waffles with cream cheese and jelly. I like protein bars are a good thing to keep. I literally always have rice cakes in my car. Trail mix, fruit with nut butter. Those are some of my like cereal with protein powder and almond milk. Those are some of my go-tos. But I'm gonna go home and actually make a pre-workout snack. So I'll see you guys when I get there. I'm just making my pre-workout meal. It's like 4:30 and I left my Rockstar in the car. Kind of bitter, but it's probably a good thing because I want to take pre-workout. But anyways, you guys have seen this snack before. I have rice checks with protein powder and cashew milk, and waffles with coconut oil, cream cheese, and jelly. And it sounds like a weird combo, like cream cheese and coconut oil and jelly, but someone on Instagram told me to try it, and it's actually so good. It like adds a little bit of sweetness, I don't know. And obviously like I need the extra fat because I'm eating 180 grams of fat today. But I got another question that's kind of about food, so I thought it would be a good one. And it says, are there good and bad carbs? Does it matter if I eat a few Oreos instead of a banana if they have the same amount of carbs in the context of flexible dieting? So you guys are seeing like I'm eating waffles and cereal right now. Like none of those are super healthy. And I would say like, no, there's no good or bad carbs or food in general, but you want to make sure that you're not living off of like Oreos. You know, like make sure you're getting like your fruits and vegetables in and like hitting your micronutrients and your fiber goals and all that kind of stuff. Okay, so I thought I'd answer one more question before I start eating, so I need to charge my camera before I head out. From Amanda O. Livefit, she said, how do you go about increasing your macros? And I think that's something that a lot of people wonder about. What you need to decide first is how many calories you want to increase them by. So I would say usually if you're trying to gain weight, you'd want to do it from like 200 to 500 calories. But to do that, and then you decide what macros you want to add. So carbs have 4 calories per gram and fat have 9 calories per gram. And I would always increase your carbs and fat, not your protein. So if you just wanted to increase fat, which is what she was asking in her question, you would take the amount of calories, so let's say you want to increase by 200 calories and divide that by 9. So whatever that number is, that's how many calories or grams of fat you would increase your macros by. I hope that makes sense. It's like 5:30, time to go to the gym. I'm not wearing anything new or exciting. Leggings, crop top, baseball hat, and I'm gonna answer a couple more questions. Amanda O. Livefit asked, favorite protein recipe you've made? And you guys know I'm not much of a chef, but my favorite like go-to is a belt sander brownie. So it's just protein powder, a little bit of cashew milk, and baking powder, and you just put it in the microwave for like 30 seconds. I'm gonna show it in my next full day of eating, so stay tuned. And then I like to put ice cream on top. And then one more. Finding Balance _14 said, how long after you wake up do you usually eat breakfast, and what's your favorite fruit? So on a normal day, if it's not like the weekend or something, I wake up, get dressed, and eat. So it's usually within like an hour after I get up. If it's a weekend, I literally roll out of bed and go make food. I can't go a long time without eating breakfast. And favorite fruit, I really like pineapple and watermelon and strawberries. Those are my 3 faves. Okay, so I'm going to take my pre-workout. Now I'm going to head to the gym. So it's really dark in my car, but I thought I'd answer a few more questions that have to do with lifting before I go in and lift while I'm waiting for my pre-workout to kick in. So the first one was, how long after I started lifting did it take for me to see results? And usually when you start lifting, you start to see results like pretty fast because your body's just not used to it. And then after you start lifting for a while, it takes a little longer. So I think when I started, I noticed results pretty quickly, but I think it's also important too to realize that when you're living in your body every day, it's hard to see changes day to day. So that's why I like taking progress pictures and like looking at pictures week to week or month to month even is important to see progress. And then I got another question asking how many sets and like reps and stuff I do for each body part when I work out. So usually my workouts consist of 5 to 7 exercises and 3 to 4 sets per exercise. I think doing more than that doesn't do much good, but you really should be giving your full effort to every set that you do. Okay, one more while I'm walking in because I found it and it has to do with working out. Blair Bunge said, what are your favorite glute workouts and how can you tone your glutes to make them look more perky? You're so inspirational. Thank you. And my favorites, right now I'm actually not doing any quad work because I'm so quad dominant, so all my leg stuff is glute and hamstring focused, but my favorites are hip thrusts and kickbacks because they just totally isolate your glutes and there's like no way your quads can take over. So those are my 2 favorites, and I would say to make them more perky, you just gotta work them and be consistent. So I do legs like twice a week, and I think that's like a pretty good standby, is hitting every body part twice a week. Okay, so just drinking my Powerade and dinner is ready. I just have rice and salmon. It's like 2.5 cups of rice and salmon and some broccoli and coconut oil. Nothing new or exciting, but I thought I would answer one question as we're winding down. I'm sorry, I know this video is like super long. I'm gonna try to cut it down. But someone asked what I think about saving all of your calories for at night if you're supplementing with BCAAs, was what this specific person was asking, but I'm gonna make this a little more broad. I think it's okay to eat a decent amount of calories at night. I mean, it's like 9 o'clock, 8:47 to be precise, and I still have this meal and one more meal, but I don't think you should not be eating during the day or like saving a shit ton of macros or your food for at night. Your body needs fuel to work. And no, you're not gonna gain 10 pounds if you eat after 7, like that's stupid, but if you're just like restricting the day so you can eat at night and that's like a disordered thing, then that's not good either. So my thing would be that it's okay to eat a lot at night, but make sure you're eating during the day too. Okay, so I'm just finishing editing up this vlog. Almost done. So I thought I would finish up this Q&A with a couple more questions. One of them is very relevant because I'm currently drinking my wine. Taylor got me this glass. You can't see it, but it says Selfie Queen on it. Hashtag Selfie Queen. And I was like, she knows me too well. You guys know Tay. But Vanessa Alpert asked, what do you think about drinking alcohol while trying to maintain a healthy lifestyle, i.e. going out on a Friday, Saturday night in college? So I think that that's something that I had to kind of like figure out on my own. But what I would say is, one, you have to realize that the calories in alcohol are not macronutrients, so they're not like benefiting your body greatly or anything. But it's totally okay, and I think you should go out and enjoy a few drinks with friends. So I would say there's like 2 options that I do. One is just drink very moderately, like get a couple drinks and don't get hammered so you feel fine the next day and can go back to your workout. You can fit it in your macros or not. Like a couple drinks is not going to hurt you once in a while. Or I would say if you're planning on like going out and going to a party and probably aren't going to feel the best the next day, to like schedule your rest days around that. So like make the next day a rest day or just like a cardio day or something. And then the last question that I'm going to answer, I thought it was a really good one to end this on, is from Little Farm Kitchen. And she said, have you always leaned into the bulking process without hesitation, or did you ever struggle mentally in the beginning? I.e., what if I gain too much fat? What if I gain too fast? And I started this whole bulking process with the intention to compete, and I didn't start it until I was in a really good place and ready to do it. So there wasn't much hesitation on my part, just because I'm doing this because I know I'm in like a mentally very good place. But I will say that in the beginning, it was definitely harder than it was now. I think when you're used to weighing a certain amount and like maintaining for so long, it's weird to see the scale go up. Or like I remember when my macros got like pretty high, I was like, oh my god, this is so much food. But like rationally, like I'm not gonna blow up or anything. Taking it day by day is super important. Like there's no use stressing about what's going to happen. Some days it's hard to eat as much as I do, but I'm like, it's just today, and I just kind of move on. But yeah, that's my thoughts on that, and I thought it was a really good question. So with that, and a sip of wine, I'm going to end this vlog and finish editing. And as always, thank you so much for watching. Comment, share, like, and subscribe, and all that fun stuff, and I'll see you guys in the next one.